Welcome to another video of Walk with Phil, and today I'm in Tividale. What I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to take a walk from Dudley Road east up through Dudley Road west and along Tividale Road, and we'll end up around where the Burntree Island used to be, if you remember that crazy island roundabout. That was near the old Roman mosaic building. It's now a Toby restaurant now, but it's all got traffic lights around there now. I don't think it does much to ease congestion, but it's a lot more easy to navigate around there than it used to be when the island was there. So that's what I'm planning to do, and we'll have a look at some interesting things along the way. And yeah, so let's go and have a look along Dudley Road and Tividale Road here in Tividale. Who remembers the Burntree Island, eh? It was a crazy island, that was. Mad roundabout. But they put some lights up there now. Instead of taking the roundabout away, they put some lights there, and I don't really think it eases much congestion traffic-wise. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up Dudley Road, and what I'm going to do is just to point out a few interesting parts of this area of Tividale. No, Tividale is part of Albury these days, but I think it uses mainly the Albury postcode, but it really is on the border of Tipton where I shall be walking. And now here, where all these new apartments are, called Sunrise Court, am I right in thinking that the new version of the pub called the Boat used to stand here? It was situated somewhere along here, because just ahead of me there on the right was the boat, the old boat I believe, and that was the scene of devastation back in the Second World War, where on the 21st of December 1940 it was hit by friendly fire, as they would call it today. There was an anti-aircraft gun placed upon City Road, which was situated there to attack German bombers, and apparently a shell from that gun landed over here on the old boat here. It actually went down the chimney and killed at least a dozen people, and there was a wedding party. The bride was killed and the groom was seriously injured, and I believe it was just around here somewhere, but I'm not 100% of the exact site of the boating, but the pub itself, the old boating, was built around 1834. When it did all close down. The new boating closed down around 2004. And just here at this very busy junction, we've got Tipton Road just down there. Ahead of me is going to be Dudley Road, and just over here we've got an ABC scrapyard. That used to be the site of Lissimore's, I believe, which was where they used to sell pop, deliver pop, mineral water, beer, that kind of stuff. Here is Lower Chapel Street just here, but this road now is curtailed now, but it used to continue up there, up Dudley Road. And that's where I'm heading. I'm just going to go up there right now, after I cross this very busy road. But Tividale itself was mainly developed in the 19th century, because there's so many industries around here, which included coal mining, stone quarrying and iron and brick manufacture. It was all happening around here in the 19th and the early 20th centuries. There was a chapel that used to be over there, but now we've got some kind of new up type building now called Streams of Joy, Birmingham. That's a crazy name, Streams of Joy. But anyway, I'm going to cross this canal. I think it's the Birmingham Canal, as it dips below road level this side. Just here to my right, I do believe a pub once stood here called the Seven Stars. Was it Seven Stars? Built again in the 1800s, and I think it disappeared in the 60s, 1970s. But you can see it's all, this area now is all overgrown next to this canal. which is just down there on the right, to my right. I'm going to go up these steps here. Just look back on where I came from, Tipton Road, just down there on the left. That was the first residential areas of Tividale. And talking of the Second World War, where the Boat Inn was hit, one or two other areas were hit as well in Tividale, such as Birch Crescent in 1941, and in City Road, a couple of 4 houses were reduced to rubble around that area. Because the German bombers were after Big Bertha, the gun, anti-aircraft gun that was situated up there. Here is the Birmingham Canal, Wolverhampton level, as it curves round to the left at the top there. And in the distance you can see here there's a lot of factories, industrial units. Just over here they've all got all kinds of different usages, but prior to that it was the scene of one of the largest pits around the Black Country. 9 pits, coal shafts, all over the shop, over this area. The Hange Colliery, I think it was called. They did that area all over there, have all these pits, but over there as well there was all brick making around here. But this is Dudley Road West. The road I began was on Dudley Road East. You can see over here, look, if you go down, I think it's pronounced Hange Road, but if you go down there, there's loads of factories. I can see a company called Latham's just down there, but there's a lot of factories. Yeah, the Hange Brick and Tile Works, where you can see trees in the distance. Gives you an indication sometimes that was all mining around there. And as I'm on the corner of Hange Road, I just pan you over there, a couple of very old factory industrial units there. Look how old they look. Just on bordering the canal. Over this side here used to be an ironworks, I believe. Here was the Tividale Sheet Ironworks. Quite a large industrial area. We've got Frida's Hall there, now it's doing weddings, parties and conferences. It looks like that was once a big office block, doesn't it, that? Looks like a 1920s, 1930s office block. And we got there, and it's called, actually, its original title was Phoenix House. And due to there being the Phoenix Brick and Tile Works over the back of where these factories were, there used to be a brick and tile works there. And that's converted into a cafe just there, look. And we got some residential along this side of Dudley Road West. But the ironworks itself now is mainly all units now, all being partitioned off for various uses, and we got the universal bolt forgers just over there. But this particular area gets quite chaotic, I believe, because we've got the school, primary school just here on the left, and we've got all these factory units here with huge articulated lorries like this, all pulling up, stopping, reversing into some of these very narrow factory openings, and they're always loading, unloading stuff along here. Yeah, it's a very busy road as it is most times of the day. This is Twydale Avenue. Avenues tend to be tree lined, although I've seen many avenues these days given that fancy title, especially the newer ones, and there ain't no trees. But this being an older avenue, you can see it's tree lined. Street, rather an old street that. I can see kitchens and furniture, Ubis. If you look down Britannia Street, back of Ubis, where all those trees are, that was the site, I believe, of the Tividale Brickworks. Yeah, Love Rock. Couple of stores here. We've got a grocery store and newsagents with a pizza next door. And just show you down there, that's Upper Chapel Street. And when we started our walk, we had Lower Chapel Street, didn't we? Just here on my left, next to these quite old terraced houses, we've got a couple of shops as well. And I have been noticing, as I've been walking along here so far, the amount of rubbish that I've seen. Do the council come along here to clean? But I don't know. But these people, these quite new houses here. Look at all the rubbish here. Look at this. Yeah, I was thinking, does anybody live in number 76? Awful amount of rubbish on the frontage, on the front of these properties. Yeah, there's a lot of litter. We got chip and whale, and what's that? Turkish barbers. Got a chance. It's out 7 days a week, and very old terrace there, isn't it? Look, that looks to me as though it was once his shop as well. Look. We're coming up to the park now. This is Tividale Park. It was opened in 1927. I don't think it has that many facilities in there. I think there's a children's play area. I'm not going to attempt to have a look, because if you look ahead, you can see it's built on quite a high level. There's a lot of steps to climb to get to the top of the park. But the park itself, that was where the name of Tividale came from, because there was a very fancy house up there. It was Tividale Hall, just up there somewhere, just on the right. That was demolished in 1927, the same time when the park itself was opened. And this is a very old garage, MJC Motors. I dare say it's had various names over the years, but I'm not sure if anybody lives or works in this particular part. Look at all those windows out there on the side. But this looks to me like a 1930s construction, this place. He wants $9,500 for a Dacia. There's a Jag here for $9,000. Yeah, but yeah, it's been there quite some time. And I think I remember, where's the Stump Sports Centre? That was indoor cricket, I believe. I think they still do indoor cricket in there. And we've got another entrance to the park here, just to the left. And here is the first pub we come across as we walk along Dudley Road. It's called The Wonder. It's just had some recent renovations, I believe. I believe The Wonder's been there since around 1845, or maybe later. But I believe it once was a hotel, but could be wrong. Yeah, just here, look, we've got another entrance to the park. Because the park was the site of Tividale Hall, as I said, just over here, over on the left over there somewhere. But Tividale Park, as you often find with a lot of parks, nature reserves, that kind of thing, there was once a colliery, Tividale Colliery, over the back there. Just beyond these trees, there's some more industrial units behind there. Okay, so just over there we've got Groveland Road, and there we got the Co-op. Just there, but that used to be a pub. See where that white van is? Just there, that was where the original Wagon and Horses pub used to stand. The Wagon and Horses opened in it was one of the oldest pubs around here, but it was opened in 1839. But it was demolished in the demolished in the late 60s, and it was rebuilt. The new Wagon and Horses opened in the early 70s, just here, and then in 2010 it closed down and was converted to the Co-op store. And we got a original council house area up there in Prince's Road. And before anybody says anything, yeah, I have crossed what was known as the Netherton Tunnel. Just a little further back, I did pass Redwood Drive. I forgot to mention that I was crossing the Netherton Tunnel, which is there's an underground canal. I'm not sure it's a Dudley Canal. I will have a exploration of that area one of the days. Yeah, the original pub stood here, Wagon and Horses. Quite a high elevated road here called Hill Road appropriately. I just show you just over the back of all these houses there would have been the old coal shafts and ironstone shafts as well. Yeah, just over here somewhere, right in the back. What is unusual around this area is not to find a place where there wasn't coal shafts and brickworks, stone quarry and that kind of thing. As we proceed a little further along Dudley Road West, you find a lot of newer properties over here. To my right, there's an Eater Avenue, all largely modern, detached and semi-detached houses down there. That road there is called Tividale Street, and it's here marks the beginning of Tividale Road. So I'll continue. You can see just here, if you look down this particular road here, you can see some very old terrace properties just down there on the left. Look, very old those are. No frontages whatsoever down Church Street. Very difficult to see. St Michael's Church. Here are the gates, and you can see just ahead of me there, look, a tall structure with the cross, two crosses on there actually. That's St Michael's Church. Quite easily missed, isn't it? Well, that had been there since 1878, and it was once known as the cathedral to the Black Country, but I can't get to see it from this point. And we've got one or two shops here now, haven't we? We've got yet another convenience store. And next to it we've got, what's this? Yeah, burger bar. But I'm not really sure. If you look underneath the word Kibo, you can say, sure, it's our secret. But look more carefully and you could make rather a rude word out of that, couldn't you? I don't know if they know, if they're aware of that. This is called Darber, family-run restaurant, but many of you who live around here will know that used to be a pub. And it used to be called the Plough, I believe. And yeah, it's been there since 1860. You can see some age in it, although it's got a new roof. It's had some serious renovations on the inside, but it closed in 2008 as a pub. And it's now it's a restaurant and a takeaway. We've got a few takeaways around here. There's a Tividale chef, that's Chinese. And there's Hopkins Street down there. Hopkins Street, of course, used to join Dudley Road here, but you can see that's been closed off. Next to the Tividale chef, we've got kind of a travel agency. There's a barber next to that. A pantry, but that's closed down. Look, it's to let. Maybe that's a newsagent's there. And we've got another pub there. We'll have a look at that in a second. This caught my eye. Just here in Hopkins Street. It's got here the Tividale trams. From 1865 to 1939, Tividale was served by tram cars on the Birmingham to Dudley route, the trams being steam-hauled until electrification took place in 1903, and between 1907 and 1930, the central depot and workshops for the whole of the Black Country tramway system were located in Tividale. They were opposite the junction of Tividale Street, which we've just passed, where electric tram cars were designed and built to local services and to several other British tramway networks. A furniture shop there, but don't think that's trading anymore, is it? Another convenience store here, groceries, and another barber's. This is Usman's, and this is a barber lounge. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's a phone shop just there. This place, see, this looks like a beauty salon. Don't see many of these open these days, but that looks as though it needs a bit of TLC just there. And then we've got post office, Tividale post office, and Spiceland next door, and an ice cream parlour. Most unusual. See, an ice cream parlour. And this guy here's come to the door to see what I'm up to. Looks like he's a bit of a news agent. This is local press, don't know if it's a news agent. And here we got the Albion. The Albion pub. And that's been here since 1881. Anyway, this is Dank Street. And we take a look to the side of the Albion Inn. And that's the end of those very exciting shops that we've just passed. As we climb this hill now towards Burntree, and you can see all these what were once fine terrace properties here with their slate roofs, and this is Bradley Street. A shortcut to avoid the traffic lights at the top. You come down here and take you join Burntree down there. This little road here, which is an no-through road now, this is called Orchard Street, and you can just see what used to be part of the Roman mosaic just up there. But this road now is a no-through road, but that used to join. That was once joined the Burntree main road as well. Now the road would come along here, and instead of the lights, this section here is newly created because the road used to go through here and join the island. So if you've forgotten as to how the road layout used to be, well, it was through here and join the island, and this main route there, that would join the island also, and it was then the scene of chaos. But you can wait here for quite a while. It doesn't, when these lights change, you get about 5 or 6 cars can get through, then your lights change, so you're stuck again for several more minutes. Now here on the right, just a little bit further back, because this is obviously this where the road was, Dudley Road, Tividale Road to join the Burntree Island. But further back used to be a petrol garage. I don't know if many of you remember the petrol garage on this side just over here. It had been there quite some time. You can see all lots of rubbish strewn everywhere through there. Looks like a bit of a dumping ground these days. But all this was the big, huge roundabout Burntree Island. You can see Tesco over there. I don't know what was on the site. All I know on the Tesco site used to be something called Burntree Works, but I don't know what the Burntree Works actually did. But that was not the original Tesco. It was rebuilt. When it was first built, it wasn't there for very long before they reorganised it, changed its layout completely. And I also remember there was quite a large windmill that used to stand here. I don't know if anybody remembers that, because they wanted to show how green their store was, but they soon done away with that. Now this is Burntree now. That used to be the Roman mosaic, as most of you will know. It's now a Toby carvery. And this is Orchard Street, where I said that used to join Burntree. I'll just show you this one last thing. Right over there now used to be the Coneygree coal shafts, the Coneygree iron foundry, the Coneygree brickworks, all over that back there. A lot of factory units there now. I remember this being the headquarters or the offices for Predis, the newsagents, but it's got a few uses now. Some beauty parlour, food fest, another beauty studio, and an estate agent's there now. Not particularly exciting, is it? One of the first things that struck me as I was walking along those roads, how messy they was. There's a lot of rubbish around there. I'm not sure if the council do a lot of street cleaning along those streets and pavements, but they're looking rather messy down the bottom end. The top end doesn't look too bad. But what about that burger shop, eh? I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether you'd be too keen on buying a burger from there with that secret ingredient they got on the sign. So yeah, I think you'd have to think twice about buying something from that place. But overall, it's got one or two convenience stores. It does provide the necessities in that area. But to think what once was along that stretch, those amazing amount of industry around there, and those collieries and coal mines and stone quarrying and ironworks, metalworks, wow, it was all going on back in the late 19th and right up until the 50s, 60s in Tividale. But anyway, it's all changed now. It's just a noisy road more than anything. But yeah, so if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.